cloud. All right, everybody, welcome to the end of July. Crazy. We're at the end of July 2020. I'm Dr. Brett Brimhall. I live in the Phoenix, Arizona area. I'm excited to share with you a little of my story, my background, and how I made it here to Lifevantage. As I was sitting here thinking tonight about who might be on this call and what's going on in the world, I felt a sense of responsibility and also a blessing to share with you how I ended up here at Lifevantage, and I'm going to share my story. And I hope that it touches somebody that may need this information, and it might give them hope, but almost might give them some options that they didn't know they had otherwise. So for the last 25 years, I've spent a lot of my life traveling and teaching physicians. My dad founded, and I've helped him co-found a protocol of treatment called the 6 Steps to Wellness. We've traveled all across the globe teaching physicians a system called the 6 Steps to Wellness, which is really a way of looking at the whole person, and with a philosophy founded in it, the body knows how to heal itself if we can find ways to remove the interference. I found my way to Lifevantage, not because I was looking for a business, nor was I looking for a supplement, but I was trying to help somebody. I was trying to help somebody that was sent to me through a physician that I had trained. I worked with them every week for a year, doing everything that I possibly knew, and still they struggled. This person's life consisted of 35 hours of therapy a week, not making hardly any progress whatsoever, to within 11 days of him starting the Axio, him unfolding in front of my eyes. And that I found myself on my way to South Dakota to meet the scientists that developed the drink called Axio, that led me to where I am today, to let you guys know that when things seem too good to be true, and you can almost finish that statement, sometimes they are. We just got to do a little digging to find out. And so I'm going to share with you a technology called nutrigenomics and a concept called biohacking. And we're going to utilize and talk about a company that's at the forefront of that called Lifevantage. All right. So before we get going too far into this, I want you to know, we're not going to make any claims, but we're going to talk about a technology, and we're going to talk about genetics and what the possibilities are, and we'll talk about the business. And the business may or may not be for you, but right now in life, you may be looking for something. If it is, we want you to lock arms with us. We can help the masses, not only physically, emotionally, but hopefully financially as well. So we want to talk about what's called flipping the switch, right? We want you to feel better. I want you to be able to do more. We've all had those days where, man, we're on and we're firing all cylinders, we're getting a lot done. And we've all had those days where we're not. We're going to talk about ways that we can know how to flip the switches. All right. So right now in our world, we're actually being hijacked drastically. Both with everything that we're around, food, air, water, the things that we put on our bodies, the things we let go in our brains, with whether it's the environmental things that we have no control over, or technology. It's a giant, and this is super important for things that you know about, and also a lot of things that you don't know about. There's a lot that goes on in your environment that you have no idea that's there, that affects you every single day. A lot you cannot see, a lot you cannot smell, and a lot you don't even know exists, right? But it is robbing you of your health every single day. I'll be going to a graveside Saturday for my mom's brother, he's just passing. My mom passed away 12 years ago from cancer. Her genetics are such that her mom lived to 97, her dad lived to 93. She should still be alive today. None of her siblings have lived past 85. Not because the genetics weren't there, not because they didn't do a lot of right things. It's because there were things in their environment they didn't know existed that damaged their genetic potential. Now I know what those are, and I know some things I can do to hopefully offset that. And it's just because of my choice of what I choose to do. So now you may or may not know this, right? But there's 85,000 chemicals that have been introduced since the Industrial Revolution. That's a lot of different chemicals that you're exposed to that you did not know existed, and they are robbing you of your health every single day. All right. So the questions become, what are you gonna do about it? All right. It's literally like dimming the switches, right? With this stuff's on there, it's robbing you. And what it feels like in different individuals is different. It may feel like, I'm just getting sick all the time. It might feel like, man, I just can't focus. I have a lot of decision fatigue. You might feel like, man, I am just tired, right? I don't want to get up in the morning. It may feel like I don't have motivation. It may feel like, I just don't know if I can't handle things the way I used to, right? Everybody feels it differently. And for one person, it may feel like overwhelmed. Another one might feel like their brain is scattered. Another person might feel like, I catch everything that comes around, right? Literally your potential is being turned down. It's like the light bulb being turned down, all right? So what's happening inside your cell or inside your systems are these things that medicine called oxidative stress, mitochondrial decline, a decline in sirtuin activity. What that basically means is you're aging faster than you want to, right? So what if you could address the systems that are giving you the symptoms? We want to talk about what exactly you can do. So this is oxidative stress. We've all seen it. I find this in my house all the time. Someone takes an apple, takes a bite of it, and I find it on my counter. But the longer it sits there, the more it decays and the faster it decays. That is called oxidative stress. Now, this happens inside your cells every single day, right? You can turn that oxidative stress to go more based upon how you eat, based upon how you think, and the other stressors you put yourself under. All right, so what if there was a way that you could literally know that science has discovered genes that control this? So I'm going to introduce you to an ABC investigative report that aired back in 2005. In this, you're going to watch the reporter, John Quinones, who was asked to go in and investigate this company, they found a way to reduce the oxidative stress in all humans across the board, right? 40% in 30 days. And what if you could do that? What might that do for you, right? And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that. So keep a close eye to think, who needs this and how might it affect you? One, if you do it, and what if you don't do it, right? Because it's your choice. And we'll come back and we'll kind of finish the story. So listen away.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig. Dr. McCord, okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist. So this is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Can we scoop? Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company. They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD. whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes. So you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks, even mental disease. Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
Dr. James Crapo with the National Jewish Medical Center in Denver is also researching Protandim for the company. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would. I can't guarantee it's going to extend your life. I can't guarantee it's going to eliminate any diseases or cure any diseases.
But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
All right, all y'all. I hope that you go back and you watch that again and again and listen really, really close to the things that they talked about. They talked about a process of oxidative stress and how it relates to so many different things that we in medicine study to try to help people with. And just listen really, really close as to what they found across the board at any age, what happened inside of the blood of individuals when they took Protandim NRF2. It literally reduced that oxidative stress level back to where it was, frankly, like a newborn, right? So how many of you would love to be able to sleep like a newborn, right? How many of you would love to have the energy of these little kids, right? So that's because their system is processing and doing things appropriately. So now you know their switches inside your cells. You also know that there are certain ways to trigger those switches. And if you're a mammal, they're the same switches, right? So Protandim NRF2 is the product that John Quinones took, right? And what it does, it literally lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. So what's that going to feel like in you? I don't know. Most of the time, people feel like they feel right now, not because of what happened yesterday or last week or last month or even last year. Well, this last year maybe, right? But the results of oxidative stress are compounded over time. So most of what people feel today are a result of years of bad habits, bad exposure, bad practices. So what we're saying is when you can reduce that oxidative stress level every month, going forward, what might your body fix? What might it repair? And then how might you feel? How might you perform? Right? I love the fact that you take one pill and it does just that. It controls that switch that controls the oxidative stress, right? It's giant, made of 5 specific plants and herbs. Now, why is that so unique? When you look at the ingredients, you're like, oh, these are herbs I've heard about, right? That's how I was when I first saw it years ago. It wasn't until I saw this client of mine make this massive shift, like something was different. Because guys, this was born out of the laboratory, not any other way. Looking at specific ways it activated his cell response. Vastly different. So all the 200 products my dad's created, which are amazing, right? We don't know what they do in cell culture. We don't realize what potential they have. This, we don't have to guess. We know what it's doing, right? So you can have confidence, but if you quit exercising, guess what? You lose some of the effectiveness. But every single day, people can be 100% by taking this every single day. If they do that, you're drastically reducing the oxidative stress that's going on your cells, because the longer you have oxidative stress, the more dysfunction you will have, the more symptoms that will occur, and the age will happen faster, right? So if you found a way to turn the switch on, now the question is, will you? And super inexpensive when you come to look at this, right? The product I was using before, I teach for another company called an NRF2 activator as well. It was more than this was, and I had to double dose it to get even some results, right? Vastly, vastly different, right? So again, so how fast do you want to age? Up to you. Now you know there's a switch, and now you know what you can do to turn that switch the right way, right? This NRF2 activation, as it's known, is been called by Washington State is likely to be most likely to, let me back up. NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of medicine. That was said by Washington State in 2015. And I agree with them from what I've seen clinically, right? So now the question is when do you want to start, right? And how long do you want to get the benefit of that? So it's a very different approach that we're using in Lifevantage than typical nutritional industries, right? Most people, right, your body's antioxidant production decreases over time, right? And so you try to take in antioxidants through your fruits and vegetables, which you should do, right? But what if you found a switch inside your cells where you take it, it literally lowers that oxidative stress across the board, right? In 100% of people, whether they're 20 or whether they're 85. Right? What type of benefit might you experience? If you want to know how big a deal this is, go to pubmed.gov. So pubmed.gov, right? And when you start looking at, you'll see universities from around the world that have studied not just NRF2 activation, but they have studied protandim specifically, over 26 published studies, right? And go and research them. But I want you also to type in oxidative stress. I was talking to an individual today. He said, "Hey, Lifevantage, that's a publicly traded company." He said, "Yeah, it's very unique." On top of this, so we'll go to pubmed.gov and type in protandim. 26 studies that are on a peer-reviewed published website by the National Institutes of Health. On top of that, you type in oxidative stress, you're going to find hundreds of thousands of different things that relate to oxidative stress that you and I are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So I love the validity that's there, okay? Well, if there's a switch that controls the process of oxidative stress and aging, maybe there are other switches. There are. One's called mitochondrial health and one's called sirtuin activity. Mitochondrial health is very much like your cell phone battery. Your body has to make this energy in order to run. If your mitochondria can't make energy, there's no power, right? So as you lose power, you have to conserve it. So your body literally will make you tired because you don't have enough energy to form. Now, again, what if there's a switch, right? It's called NRF1. So protandim went to work finding 5 plant extracts that they could use combined together to activate the switch to help the mitochondria function properly. And by doing that, the NRF1 genes increased by almost 30%, right? So now you have the ability to take and charge your cells up in a totally different way than we thought possible before. All right. Then there's what's called sirtuin activity. You're hearing this a lot. You'll either hear NAD or you'll hear about sirtuins, but you hear a ton about what's called fasting. Fasting is what turns on this switch to a certain extent, right? And so sirtuin decline, this is the body's constantly activating sirtuin to clean up the cells. It's a dejunker. So what if there was a switch that controlled NAD production? There is, okay? All right, and so Lifevantage went to work, made what's called energy synergizer to flip that switch. Again, you can take advantage of that. And the very unique thing about that, when you take 2 capsules of the NAD synergizer, it increases sirtuin activity by 24%. The only competitor I know on the market that's looking at that increases it by 12% because it's using what's called ingredients that's just to increase NAD, not to activate the cell's response to produce it. It's vastly different. We call it activation. So there's a difference between what's called supplementation and activation. Supplementation is like, hey, I'm gonna make this really nice meal, but so you buy all the ingredients and it sits on the counter and nothing happens. So you want to have good supplements in your routine and good foods in your routine, but you need to activate that. You need to activate that response too. The activator in the case of making a dinner is the person that walks in, puts them together in the right quantities, in the right way at the right time, bakes them or cooks them in the right way at the right temperature for the right time to get the desired results. The cells know how to do that, but they have to have the right ingredients and they need to be activated, right? Now, what would happen if you decided, hey, if there are these different major systems, what if I combined and addressed them all at the same time? What might happen? All right, let's find out. Lifevantage asked the same question. So those products put together called the Tri-Synergizer. What you're seeing here is a graph. Right? On this graph, you'll see at the bottom, it talks about these gene responses, right? And they're looking at how much did that light bulb turn on. So when you took NRF2 by itself, it increased the activity of this gene, so think about the light bulb, by 40% to help improve oxidative stress, right? When they combined it with Protandem NRF1 for mitochondrial and Protandem NAD for the sirtuin activity, it jumped from 40% to 73%. And look at this one, they controlled the inflammatory responses from 50% to 838. The same thing held true when you're looking at NRF1 and how it affects the regulation of the mitochondrial genes. When you combined it with the synergizer, it went from 64 to 84, from 69 to 118. And the drastic difference when it came to NAD, right? When you increase the sirtuin activity from a 12%, which is not insignificant, but when you combined it, right, with helping the other systems work better, look at the difference what happened from 12 to 127, from 12 to 226%. So the importance of adding those together is like having the dream team together. You want everybody showing up, you want everybody working together, right? And what's fantastic is what you see clinically when you do this. Watching my clients, my family and friends, and seeing the responses in their cellular health and their functionality is drastically different as I've been able to apply this technology in helping them. Right. So when you flip these switches on, here's some of the things that some people experience. They might have more positive mood and motivation. Like, who do you know that might need some of that? I know I've got teenagers. That would be fantastic, right? Supports healthy longevity, improves mental focus and concentration, boosts mental and physical energy, supports a normal, healthy inflammatory response, supports healthy vascular systems. So think about what that might feel like in you, right? So I would say majority of people's stressors have gone up drastically in the last 4 to 5 months with what's going on just in the world. Because of that, we're aging faster, just flat out. So the question now becomes, what are you doing to flip the switches in the right direction so that your body can age appropriately? Because if you're waiting to feel something, that's too late. 50% of people that feel a heart attack, that's the last thing they feel, right? Because when you feel it, you're gone. So we need to go away from feel and to do the things that are important. And it's drastically important and I love the fact that I can do something super simple that activates those switches. So that's the Protandem Tri-Synergizer. You can get it in bottles, right? You can get a little packet that I love. I just take it and just go, right? And Lifevantage, they want you to have success, right? 30-day money-back guarantee, right? Super great way to be on target every single day. Okay, they've applied this same technology to other unique things that we need in our body. There's a vitality stack that combines a probiotic with this timeless with a beta-glucan, which is truly one of my favorite products because gut health is actually at the foundation of health. The Axial is what got me involved with this company because of what I saw it do in people's brains. Axial is truly liquid brain food, right? It addresses brain fatigue, right? When was the last time you felt brain fatigue? A lot of us have felt it today. So you have a way now to address that, not only to affect you and how you feel and function today, but to be protective of tomorrow, right? One of the biggest struggles that we have as a society, and we're going to have an even bigger, is the rate in which we're seeing neurological diseases progress, right? So doing these type of things is going to allow our body to feel and function at best to try to protect for tomorrow, right? Omega-3 fatty acids, everybody should have them. Well, they've applied the same technology to weight management, right? Skincare, which is phenomenal. Like I've been using it the last 5 years, right? I haven't used shaving cream in 5 years because I use these products, right? Hair care and also animal. So you take the same technology applied to very specific areas and unique niches that we can actually help more people with, right? So you know what? The science is unbelievable. Please do your homework, right? But listen to the people that have been on these products and watch what happens, right? And give it time. And I don't know what's going to happen to you, but I do know what happens in people that eat bad over time. We don't know when it's going to happen. We do also know that with people that smoke or drink over time, that eventually their body's going to break down faster. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we know it will happen, right? So by doing these things every single day, you're putting your body in a place that is in a healthy spot every single day. So Lifevantage is a publicly traded company. It's a network marketing company. It's headquartered in Utah. It's publicly traded on the NASDAQ. It's a debt-free company, all right? And we get to work together to share this story to impact the lives of anybody that was willing to listen. Okay, it's tied to very unique trends. The wellness trends were already going up the last 15 years. But what's happened in the last 5 months has drastically turned that corner. What I've noticed in the last 20 years of my practice is that individuals come to a health crisis and a health decision somewhere in their life where they know now I need to do something about it. Never before have I seen so many come to that situation all at once, because now everybody's like wondering, is my body healthy? Is it going to be strong enough? Right? And there's something we need to know, we need to be looking at long before we are now, but this is the opportunity that people need to look at. And I love the fact you're looking at that. Great. Let's find specific solutions that are backed by science that everybody can utilize. And this is global, right? Here's the industry, right? We're in the anti-aging, skincare, hair care, pet care, energy, and weight loss, right? Big, giant industries, okay? Cosmetics in 2017, look at the percentage it was, and wellness was lower than that. That switched in 2018, and it's even higher today, right? Because people are more concerned about their health and their wellness. All right, network marketing, the model I was not familiar with until about 5.5 years ago. I was just in traditional business. My dad was an entrepreneur. He's a chiropractor. That's what I grew up with. Both my grandparents were entrepreneurs, right? I understood business, small business. Network marketing got some really wonderful benefits. You can work from anywhere, mobily, which I do all the time. Virtual office, I don't carry inventory. Very low entry costs. You can share it socially no matter where you are. I don't manage a website. I don't manage a legal team. They do all that. I can get paid daily and I can get paid weekly. And they offer incentives to help you and your company grow. Well, because we are a publicly traded company, there's numbers that are produced, right, based upon actual things that are happening. So we're broken out into what's called distributor groups based upon the volume that goes through our group or our teams. Here's a couple ideas. So a Pro 3 is somebody that has a 5,000 in volume that goes through a group. The average Pro 3 makes an extra $600 a month, $626. So how big a difference would that make, right? How big a difference? And just from a perspective checks, just right now, there's a lot of people unemployed. The average unemployment check is about $600, right? So, but imagine if you could do something and build something to where that was something that was there all the time. And I was just reading something today where they were talking about that, where a lot of these unemployment checks are going to start going away because we're at a place where they've been there for a little while. So this could be something that people want to do, right? It's up to you. Okay, and then Pro 5. Average Pro 5 is someone that brings 20,000 in volume through their group. The average Pro 5 makes about $3,000 a month, right? That, right, for a lot of people is replacement income, right? Pro 7 is what they call the elite ranks. That the average Pro 7 makes $13,000 a month, okay? You'll look down this far right column shows the average number of months it took to hit that rank. So the Pro 3 took an average of 8 months, Pro 5 an average of 12 months, a Pro 7 average of 30 months, right? So what if you could build something, in your part-time that could create a income that came in every single month based on work you've done in the past, and there were no limits. Didn't matter your schooling, didn't matter your background, nothing. It just mattered if you're willing to plug into the system. How do you get started? There are different ways you get started. These are the different packs. The bigger the pack, the bigger the discount, and you're able to get all the products. For me personally, I got the platinum pack because I knew I wanted to use it, right? And to me, that was the cheapest investment. Guys, I paid $500,000 when I started my practice, let alone when I paid for my education, right? So for this, very inexpensive way to get into business. Now the question is, can you do this? Every single person on the planet can do this. Will they do this, right? So the systems are set up in place by Lifevantage so you can have the support, global support, a very simple ITT system. We have regular team meetings, trainings to really help build your belief in the product, help you understand the industry, and help you understand and build yourself and help you build teams. They put incentives in place for us and then a community to work together, right? And who are you partnering up with? Okay, what has this company been about? What has it done? Let me give a little perspective just in the last little bit. Okay, back in April 2019, Lifevantage was one of the best places to work for the 3rd year in a row. Okay, in May of 2019, Salt Lake launched its 3rd European market in the past 8 months. Okay, on May 6th, 2019, all right, it announced that Erin Brockovich was listed to the board of directors. You don't know Erin Brockovich, she's a whistleblower, right? So she stands for the little guys. She stands for people getting the right things in the right way and the truth. Lifevantage was back in May of 2019, the honored with the Stevie Award, Business Award for Best New Product. Okay, in July of 2019, okay, Lifevantage was added to the Russell Index. Okay, in November of 2019, they opened business in New Zealand. In January of this year, they hit their highest preliminary earnings ever, 61 million. Highest quarterly revenue in company history, and that hasn't changed. That's still grown, even with what's going on in the world today, right? Like in January, we ran the bill at the NASDAQ, so the world got to see Lifevantage, right? A publicly traded company that is focused on nutrigenomics, helping to understand how we can tap into our body's ability to tap into our genes' potential through a process known as biohacking. And you're going to hear more and more about that in the future. So we want to flip the switch and feel better. So they're partnered with things like Salt Lake Real. They've been the primary sponsor for the last 10 years. So get the exposure of the company out there. We're open in all these different markets and growing. And what we do is we partner with each other, helping each other to make a huge impact in people's life physically, financially, and then put that back in. There's some pictures of what's called the Lifevantage Legacy, where we go down and we give back. Building homes in Mexico is one of them. There's other things throughout the year that we do. So I appreciate each of you hopping on here tonight. And I don't take it lightly that you could be a lot of different places, but I want you to know the science is real. You don't have to guess that the products are going to do what they're going to do. You just have to ask, at what level do you want to tap into your body's potential to heal? And please get your questions asked and answered. You know, to see, is this something that you want to do, to take and to utilize, or is this something you want to share with others? One of the biggest lessons I've learned through this process is that I've always, one of my philosophies my dad taught me years ago, is want to take wellness to the world. He wanted to be helped how he was helped, and that's just what I grew up with. And what this has allowed me to do, and many others, is to take our desire to help more people and to do just that. Because I know there's people on this call tonight that heard something that they needed to hear that will hopefully help them take action and step to move their health in the right direction, and perhaps even to take their financial future back in their control. Because at the foundation of what I've seen the last 6 months, it brought more, again, to my attention, is that we need to take ownership of our own health and of our own finances, and find a way that we can live our passion and help other people through this process, because we're in this together. So thank you for hopping on. Please get back to the person that invited us. Let them know where you stand. Say, hey, you know what? I love that product. I want to do the Tri-Standardizer, the Axio, whatever. For me personally, it's the Vitality Stack with the Axio and NAD every day, right? Why? Because I want all my cells functioning right. Optimally, I want my brain firing on all cylinders, and my kids know I need it, right? But let them know, hey, I want to take the product. You know what? I want to take the product like Lone Earth Business, or hey, you know what? Let's go do this together. So look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Hopefully there's some events here. There's a big corporate event coming in October that's online. Love to see you guys. Big training tomorrow. You guys have an amazing evening, and we will talk with you later. So I'm going to stop the recording